How's it going, everybody? So, I figured I should probably tell you guys a little bit about myself, why I do what I do, and, well, might as well get a little bit of work done at the same time. So, I started a YouTube channel because, well, I feel that I have information that would be useful to share. I know I'm not the best videographer. I figure that comes with practice, a little bit of confidence coming in, and well, it's a way to get information across. It's a way of teaching somebody something that they didn't know. And you hear the goats out there. I'm in the barn that, well, it's a temporary barn that I'm using to store the food, so they think they're going to get fed. But being somewhat educational would be kind of my main goal for doing a YouTube channel. The other part of it is there is a income stream that is capable with YouTube. So if I teach somebody something, and if I'm educational and I get, a few bucks from it, cool. Now I realize that at the time of this recording, my channel is not big enough to make any money. It's not. I think right now I have 34 subscribers, and the way that the YouTube, algorithm requires right now is I need 1,000. And I have a few ideas to boost my viewership. It's not that big of a deal, but I would like to be able to reach a few more people, teach a little bit more. I don't have any kids, so it's not like I'm giving something to my next generation, at least not yet. I would like kids eventually, but I'm currently not in a place where I can have kids. Yeah, that's why I started a YouTube channel, mostly to be, educational and give something back to society. I recently started a Patreon account because I feel that it's going to be quite a while before I start getting any income from YouTube, and at some point there might be a person or a couple of people that want to help me out more personally. And if they do, that's cool. Any money that I do get from Patreon would either go into the farm or into some form of machinery or something along those lines. And that's pretty much it. Farming takes a little bit of money to get started, and it takes time to get started. And right now my income is a little on the limited side. I buy a couple $100 worth of feed every month because I've got 5 goats, a bunch of chickens, rabbits. So I spend a good amount of money on feed. Now, I do intend for this channel to be better. Like, I realize that it's not great, but I'm working on it. I don't post, on a schedule or 100% regularly, because I'd like to have half decent content when I post a video, and a lot of doing this is doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like, wake up in the morning, feed the goats, feed the rabbits, make sure the water's ready now that it's winter, make sure that the water is thawed out, because the water does freeze every night. Well, almost every night. We have a couple of warm nights every once in a while. So I figured that's not something that people want to see over and over and over and over again. So I bring you along for projects. Now, I'd like to have a few more chats, because I like talking. Talking is a good way of giving across information back and forth. A lot of my monthly income comes from the VA. I spent 6 years in the Navy. I was a machinist mate. That probably doesn't mean a whole lot to a lot of people, but the way I like to describe what I did is I make a boat go. I wasn't alone in moving the ship. There were a few hundred people in my department, so that it's not like I was single-handedly making the boat go. And while I was in the Navy, I did get injured. And it does affect me. Another reason why I don't make videos every day is, or every other day or something like that, at least not right now, is, I have some physical issues. Sometimes you'll notice me walking with a limp. If you do see me walking around in videos, sometimes I have a limp. And, that's a permanent issue. I'll never grow out of it. It will be with me pretty much until I die. I have what is considered the good form of nerve damage. Is I have trouble feeling my hands. So that's a thing. But yeah, I served about 6 years, U.S. Navy. That was, there are certain things that, I regret about being in the Navy, and there are certain things where I wouldn't trade it for the world. So there's that. I also have tinnitus. It's annoying, like really annoying. Yeah, no, that's where I get at least a good chunk of my income from. Right now is Oh, I also have shoulder problems, but I don't need a whole pity party on that. I just, for the most part, just want to be understood that there are certain things that I either can't do, or if I can do it, I will regret it. So I do things at a slower pace. That's a thing. You know, I realize I don't get a whole lot of comments on my videos, but I do know personally a lot of the subscribers, and some of them have wondered why I keep my hair long. You know, I've got a ponytail going right now. Honestly, I'm growing out my hair so that I can donate it to an organization that makes wigs for kids with cancer. You know, it's something I can do, something I can give back, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort for me. You know, it takes longer to wash my hair. That's it. I've had a couple of veterans ask me why I have a beard, because, you know, for 6 years I had a clean-shaven face. Every once in a while I'd have a mustache to usually irritate somebody. That's the only reason I grew a mustache in the Navy. Well, I get ingrown hairs, so it's not comfortable, it's not fun, so if I don't shave, I don't have to deal with it. Or not as much. So there's why I look the way I do. You know, ratty old jacket. It's a nice jacket. It's held up for years. I'm clearing out this space here to put a drying rack, so I can put wood. I still have to build it. I'll probably make a video on building it. Now, why I started farming is I like to be relatively self-sufficient. I don't like asking for a whole lot of help, and honestly, I think the quality of the food that I get from farming my own animals, farming my own food, is a whole lot better. I'd hate to say it's easy, but it's not terribly hard to grow something yourself. You just gotta remember to water it, or in the case of animals, you gotta remember to feed them. That's it. In a lot of cases, I work as hard as I can on the farm, and then I have to take a break. I have issues. That's fine. I wanted to live out in the woods, so, I moved back in with my dad. Well, I moved onto his property. I don't live in the house. So, he lets me use about 3 acres of his land. This is not my land. This isn't, nothing on here is my property, except for the animals and the fencing. Like, I bought the fencing. And I bought the fencing with the money I got from the VA. That's it. It took me probably about 4 times as long as it would have before the military to actually get it all put up. Things take longer when you deal with the stuff I have. So in the future on this channel, I'd like to do some giveaways. I'm going to be making some things because I do woodworking. Woodworking is fun for me, and it doesn't require a whole lot of effort. Like it's work. That's why it's called woodworking, but it's something I've been doing since I was a kid, and I like doing it, so I'm going to make some videos and I'm probably going to be doing some giveaways of some of the stuff that I make. So that's one thing to look forward to. Um, Probably going to do like a subscriber based thing where I make something, and once I get to a certain number of subscribers, then I'll do a raffle and give it away, mail it to somebody. I've got some fairly fancy wood, you know, that I bought a couple of years ago and just haven't done anything with. I had things where people wanted me to buy or wanted me to build something for them and then weren't willing to pay for it, so they didn't get it, or I didn't make it. Um, Stuff like that. Um, Trying to think. Uh, no, I get a lot of help from my dad. He doesn't do any of the recording. Well, I think he recorded one of the videos for me. I do all of the editing myself. I do a lot of the thinking because this is my place to work. This is what I do for fun. This is what I do to, I try to give food to my dad and my brothers and sister and my stepmom, and that's why I produce food. It helps feed them, helps make it worth it that I'm here, because I don't want to be a terrible burden on anybody. I had a few more thoughts. So, covered Patreon, covered why I started the YouTube. A couple of people have asked me personally what I plan to do with the goats, because they're for the most part not purebred, not anything. I think 2 of them are purebred Nubian, but that's not a big deal. I got goats for milk. They're not producing milk right now, so most of them are just too young. And I have 2 males, or 1.5 males if you want to think of it that way. And this Cinnamon is a wether. He's fixed. He can't do any major work, but I specifically got Cinnamon to spend time with Dumpcake. Dumpcake is my boy. He is an intact male goat. Intact means he's still got his parts. I got him for breeding, and there's a neighbor down the road that once Dumpcake starts wanting to do some work, she's wanting to borrow him so that he can do work on her females. She breeds goats as well. And I got Kevin. Kevin is gone now. I got him specifically for meat, and now I have a freezer full of pork. I raise rabbits I sell some of them as pets. I turn the rest of them into food. Rabbit is a fairly efficient source of meat. And I have a whole bunch of chickens for eggs. I don't eat most of the eggs that I produce. I put them in the refrigerator. My dad uses them. My stepmom sometimes uses them. My sister uses them. So that's why I have them. I wouldn't mind getting into aquaculture. In the future, aquaponics seems really cool. Seems like a really cool way of producing large amounts of food. And this is a farm. I would like to eventually make a business of it. That's the final goal of that. Yeah, I try to be as healthy as possible with my animals. With the goats, they get hay, there's professional goat feed there, and there's dry cob. I've heard things about wet cob causing hoof issues. I don't know about that personally, but you know, I'm still learning some of the farming stuff. I didn't grow up on a farm. I didn't, you know, when I was a kid, we had a garden. We didn't have farm animals. We had a couple of pets, dogs. We didn't have any cats. Family's not. My mom wasn't big on cats. That's it. We had like 2 pet rabbits. So raising rabbits for meat was kind of new. Like, I've gone hunting before. I hunted rabbits and done it that way. But actually going through and raising them, that's part of it. Raising pigs for meat. This was my first pig ever. I did a whole lot of research before I got into pigs. I watched a lot of Keeping It Dutch's videos and Red Toolhouse's videos. They're good sources for information regarding pigs. I think Dutch is one of my subscribers. I'm subscribed to him, so that's fair. So yeah, if you want to learn more about pigs, go to Dutch, go to Red Toolhouse. I'm not an expert on that in any way, shape, or form. I'm still learning pigs. My aunts, or my stepmom's sisters, so they're my aunts, they kept goats. So I picked up a little bit on keeping goats from them. And I watched, what's her name? It's Weedham and Reap. She breeds goats. I don't remember her name. But she raises goats, and she uses them for milk, and you know, she's got a little homestead farm thing in the middle of Arizona. It's completely different weather from here. It's hot there. It's warm here, but it's hot there. So they raise goats. So I watched a lot of her videos to try to figure out, you know, a little bit more of the ins and outs on that. I've got like 4 books on goats. Yeah, I read them all cover to cover a couple of times. So I wasn't walking in blind when it came to goats. I wasn't walking in blind when it came to pigs. My mom raised rabbits when she was a kid, so she told me kind of how that all worked. So yeah, you know, I'm new to farming. I'm new to this. I grew up doing construction and that kind of, you know, manual labor, so I'm not new to working for what I want. And I have no problems working for the things that I want to have. Oh, I wear a lot of blue shirts. I'm not wearing the same blue shirt over and over again. I have like 15 of these, so don't think I'm not like not doing laundry. That would be gross. But you know, former uniform items, so I have a lot of them. Yeah. Trying to figure out what else is going on. You know, in the future, I'd like to get my goats bred, producing milk. I'm waiting on a book to come in on how to build my own goat milking stand. I have some of the parts and materials for it, but I'm waiting for the book so that I have a better understanding on how to do that. That'll be coming up. I'm going to be making a video on putting that together. It'll probably take me a couple of days to get that built. I'd like to expand the pig area, because right now that's a temporary pen that I built. I didn't make a video on it, I don't think. So it's literally just a temporary pen. I was hoping to have a little bit more money over the summer so that I can go through and build a permanent pen. I was gonna do three pigs. I don't know. Yeah, pig pen. I want to make it bigger. Um, I'd like to have three, two breeding sows and a boar, and I'd be selling off or raffling off. Once I get to the point where I'm actually breeding pigs, I'd like to be doing some giveaways for the 4-H and FFA. I think that would be a nice way to give back, because some of these kids, they don't have a whole lot of money. They're getting into it, so that would be a good way to get them going. And I think it'd just be kind of nice to say, hey, I gave this kid a pig. Like, I can give away rabbits right now for 4-H'ers in Northern California. I can't give all of them away. I still have to sell them, but I'll announce, hey, I'm doing giveaways for this region, because I can't really ship them. I don't have the money for that. Shipping animals is expensive. So there's that. So I'd like to do giveaways for stuff like that. Yeah, that's about where that's going. I want to plant a lot more trees in the area. I've been doing some research on pawpaws. Pawpaws sound like a good thing to do. If I remember correctly, they're a native plant to North America. I'm also growing some Osage oranges. They're about 2 feet tall, which is pretty good for a first-year plant. Those are going to be planted along the fence out here. Yeah, want to do more apples. I like apples. Apples are delicious. I want to do some other types of fruit trees, more berry bushes. So that's something I'm looking forward to doing. I'd like to go through and get something like this turned into an actual structure, not a tarp. It's a tarp shed. So I'd like to get an actual structure built for, a small barn. I have a lot of projects that I want to bring you guys along for. I realize this video is going to be really long, but bear with me. So there's a lot of projects that I want to make videos on. Something educational, something where people can watch it and come away with either, oh, that was cool, oh, I learned something. That's what I do there. I don't want to be doing just strictly farm update videos. That seems really boring. I might start getting into a more of a vlog style of, hey, this is what I'm doing today, hey, this is what I'm doing today, but that all depends. I need to work on public speaking, even though the public is a camera right there. I'd like to get a couple more cameras. This is fine for what it is, but it has limitations. It's a good camera. What is this? It's a Sony Handycam. So that's what that is. I'm working on what I got. I got the Sony Handycam from online, and I got the tripod it's sitting on from Goodwill. I like Goodwill. Goodwill's got some good stuff. Or your local thrift store. Chastine is complaining about something. I want to do a couple of maintenance videos of, hey, this is how you fix this, because, you know, a lot of people, if they feel that a tool isn't working anymore, they'll throw it away. And, you know, for the most part, you can fix tools. Like, hand tools, I fix hand tools all the time. I have a big honking hammer. I think this is like the 4th handle I've put on it. 20-pound head is terrible on handles, but sometimes you need to give something a big thump, and a big honking hammer is a good way to do it. Yeah, I need to figure out a better way of storing the hay. It's kind of a mess right now, but I don't have a better way of doing it, so that's what I got. Well, if you like this video or my other videos, if you could share it with your friends, maybe they'll like them, maybe they'll be interested in that sort of thing. That would be cool. If you want to donate on Patreon, you're not required to donate on Patreon. It's I don't want to take somebody's money where you're going to be hurting. You know, I'd feel bad. But if you want to donate on Patreon, there's going to be a link down in the description. If you want to subscribe, that would be cool. You know, more subscribers. If you go through and watch some of my other videos, that would be pretty cool as well. You know, I'd like to get, not like famous, but I'd like to be fairly well known for the stuff I do. It's not a narcissism thing, it's just I want to be able to put across as much information as possible before, either YouTube gets shut down or my channel gets shut down because I said something and offended somebody, because that's how things seem to be going. Yeah, if you drop a comment, I'll read it. I might respond to it. It's just, that's a thing. Likes on the video help with the YouTube algorithms. Higher percentage of likes equals more likely to be viewed. Yeah. So, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun jazz. Yeah. I think that's all I got for this one. Have fun. Bye.